Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a little interview. And I have Vanessa with me, and she's in. Vanessa, where are you?
Brisbane,
Yes, Vanessa and
Australia.
I are in the same country today. So thanks for coming, Vanessa. I'm really excited because you and I have had a few stops and starts to get onto the internet together to do this.
Yeah.
So can you first tell us what, I mean, I know, but it's for the sake of the people watching, what you're going to share in terms of success story today, and then start at the beginning where it was all going wrong and pear-shaped, and then how you moved your way out. So go
Okay.
back to
Well,
the beginning.
I'm not sure where to start. Maybe you can help me choose. So
Yeah.
I have a recent success story where I manifested um, a brand new person.
Yeah.
But as you know, like I've been coaching with you for years. So
Yeah.
I just never came forward with like because I've had a success story every month. um,
Yeah.
but because
Yeah.
it is a process.
It
And
is.
so I think maybe I'll start with the ST and then talk a little bit after about my
Sure.
journey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give
Okay.
the big golden egg first, and then we can go back to where you were and
Yeah.
how you got to where you are, what you had to come through. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it was December. December or January. I reached out to you because I had spent a year being single and healing. So I had like a train of toxic relationships, and then I'd said that's it. Like I've had enough. I'm done.
Mm.
And I decided to work on me, and I guess my self-love was like I remembered in my email to you, I said like my self-love is so good that I don't want anyone. Like, and but my friends were merging into relationships, and I was like, am I going to be like a cat lady? Like, because I was so happy with being single forever. Like, I'd spend
Mm.
hours in the garden just in my own world and
Mm.
just, or cooking or whatever. And I was just like, I was so content. I was like, I don't want anyone coming and messing this up.
Mm.
But I had fears that over the course of the year, every time a thought came to my mind that maybe I should go out and meet someone, I thought like I had negative beliefs that a relationship would be a negative experience. Like I thought that it would mess up my routine, or they would criticize me, that they'd make me feel bad about myself, or they would put more expectations on me that I didn't want because I'm comfortable. And I'm a mom, so I have little kids, and I was worried. Like I didn't want some creepy stepdaddy, or like I had these
Mm.
awful beliefs. And so I just reached out to you, and it was probably my most casual, because all my other, I'm usually a big mess when I reach out to you, but it was my most my most casual and probably my most healthy email. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, it would be nice, but if my desire is not really strong, is it still going to come? Like,
Mm.
and you were like, yeah, just work on you, and you told me to just rewrite my beliefs about men. And I think a week I spoke about like some more personal stuff that we worked through. um, and I think a week later or a couple of days later, you uploaded a meditation um, to manifest a brand new relationship. And I was like, oh, I'll give it a whirl. And so I did that, the meditation where there's the kitchen scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote a list of my ideal specific person, but then I just forgot about it. And I was like, you know what, I can be stuck. I'm going to reach out to Agnes in another couple of months. I
Mm.
forgot all about it. And then, so a couple of months ago, I met my SP. I was mowing the lawns.
I
Yeah.
love this. I so love this story. It's brilliant.
And he popped his head over the fence, and I was looking like a wreck. And I thought he was my neighbor from up the street because he had a hat on. I thought it was Tony, who's like married and older, and I'm just a dork around my neighbors. and I like had my tights up to my belly button, and I was like, oh Tony, my belly's hanging out, and I slapped my belly, and I went over and I put my arm up on the fence, and I was like, how you doing? Then I realized it's like a guy about my age, and I was like, what's up? And I
That's
thought
great.
nothing of it. I thought I'd never see him again or whatever. And he's like, oh, I sell these Kirby's. I was gonna give you a free demo. And I was like, yeah, why not? And then I just clonked my lawnmower back on and kept mowing and got on with my day. And then he came over for the demo.
What was he selling, Vanessa? He was selling what?
Kirby's.
What's
They're like
that?
a vacuum. They're a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay, a vacuum. I've never heard of that.
I know. Like I'd never heard of them. And so he come over and they he like he does these free demos where he'll clean a couch or the carpets or a bed.
Mm.
And we still make jokes because I'm a really awkward person. And I was saying awkward things. Like he was gonna demo, like he was gonna clean my mattress. And I was like, so do we just go straight to the room? And then he was like, and I was like, what do I say? Like it was so awkward the whole time. But he saw all my law of attraction stuff on the wall, and he said that was when he fell in love with me and all my future goals and stuff. He said, I knew I loved you from that moment. But so he did the demo and we were chatting and we got to know each other. And I think we both at that moment thought, oh, I kind of like this person. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this Kirby. And he wanted to finance it, and like after he left I was like, I don't want to finance it. Like he said that I could finance it, sorry, and I wanted to finance it. But then after I filled out the paperwork and he left, I decided I don't want to finance this, like, but I don't know, I wonder if there's another option. So he had to come over again a couple of days later to drop off the machine that I had signed up to purchase. And I had messaged him in between and I said, hey, is there another option, like instead of financing? And I'd already started affirming that I was going to get a free Kirby or he was going to give me his. And I was being so cheeky. I was like talking to my manifestation buddy. I'm like, I really want this machine. He's going to give me his own if I can't have it. And I was just being cheeky. I thought nothing of it. And then he came over and we had this moment in the kitchen. So he came over. I was on the phone to my dad and I was like, come in, just, follow me. And I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, I'm on my phone to my dad. I was like, give me 10 minutes. And he sat down and made himself comfortable. And we had this moment, like I had this feeling that he was like already my husband, like it was this weird feeling that I couldn't describe. And it was really bizarre. I think it caught us both off guard. And then after he left, he sent me a message and said, by the way, don't worry about the payments and stuff. And he's like, it's all yours. He's like, you don't owe me anything. I just, I saw the stuff on your wall in your room and it really inspired me. And I hope this can inspire you to follow your dreams.
Oh, lovely.
And I was like, wow. And then I was like, and then a couple of days later, I'm like, is that it? Is he just going to give me this machine and never speak to me again? So I gave him a call and I was like, hey, you're not making those payments, are you? And he's like, no, blah, blah, blah. And then he wasn't sure if I liked him. And I said, I didn't even know if you had a girlfriend or not. And he's like, I'd really like to take you to dinner. And so one thing led to another. And now he's living with me. Like we're in love. And we've been
Lovely.
we've been in a relationship. And we were speaking recently about like I was just going about actually I think I was scrolling through your meditations and I saw the new relationship meditation, and the penny dropped because Keegan and I had spoken previously about that moment in the kitchen that we both shared. Like he just knew, like it was already done. And I said, you know what's really funny? And he's like, what's that? And I said, listen to this meditation. And I played the meditation, and everything in the scene was what we had experienced.
About the kitchen scene in the meditation.
Yeah. And I played it to him. He's
Wow.
like, it was like everything. And you were talking about how it was just being casual. We're having a casual conversation in the kitchen and everything. and that I'm cooking, and it was exactly, and I felt something in the moment, like when it was
Mm,
happening, but I didn't know what it was. And then
yeah.
when the penny dropped, I was like, wow, I got goosebumps thinking about it. Like,
Oh,
so
that's
magical.
beautiful.
Because when I did the meditation, it was so effortless. Like I didn't try, like
Mm,
I wasn't
yeah.
trying. And then I went over my list in my journal, and it was everything. Like
Everything.
he was
Yeah.
everything. Because I wrote like, there was like one, two, there was 4 pages on my
Wow.
list.
Yeah.
And he's everything on the list. Um,
Yeah.
and I showed him, um, and we were both like, this is so crazy. And I was like, I manifested you right to my doorstep.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't even get on an app or anything. I mean,
Yeah. And
that's profound. That's lovely.
I had intended that I would never, that I wouldn't find someone. My friends was saying that, if you want to find someone, you got to put yourself out there, you got to go dating sites and stuff like that. But I had
No.
intended not to. Like I had
Yeah.
decided it's gonna happen. I don't care if it's in the grocery store, and I don't
Yep.
go out a lot. So, but I was just so in my own self-love, um,
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't care. It'll come, it won't come,
Mm,
whatever. And like he came straight to my doorstep. And
that's
that's
so
how,
beautiful.
yeah. Um, and he believes in law of attraction as well. He believes he
Mm,
manifested me,
yeah. Yeah.
which
He
is
must have
really
been.
funny.
Did he tell you if he was putting out for something at that time
Well,
prior to meeting you?
he said that I am everything that he ever wanted. He says that to me all the time. He's like, I know I
Yeah.
manifested you because you're everything I ever wanted in every way. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not manifesting. But then he said to me, after the demo, um, and he'd seen the stuff on my wall and stuff, he decided he was going to manifest a date with me, and he
Yeah.
started visualizing, then.
Beautiful.
So he believes he manifested the relationship, but I believe I did. Um,
Mm,
yeah, but it's funny because we were having a conversation when we were filling out the paperwork for the Kirby, and we spoke about law of attraction, like we briefed on it. And I remembered, this is so cheeky. I just remembered thinking, what if, like, I wonder if I can do something cheeky with this cute guy. And I looked down for a moment. I had my eyes down, pretending that I'm just, reading.
yeah.
And I said to myself, he's going to try to manifest me. And then I heard his voice in my head saying, I'm going to manifest this girl. And then it's so funny
And
because
that's exactly what he
it's,
said.
it's exactly what he did. Like he went home and he started visualizing having a date with me. Um, so it's really funny. Like
Mm.
that's my new thing now as well. When I'm with people, if sometimes I'll go I'll go a bit quiet, and it's because I'm hearing their voice saying to me what I want them to be thinking. So instead of thinking what are they thinking, they're gone quiet and studying them, I decide what they're thinking.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
so beautiful. So beautiful. So when did you meet him? Was it 2021?
Yes.
Just so people know the timeline.
Mm. So
Okay.
he came pretty, I think it was within a month of doing that meditation, which I didn't like. I don't know if it's just a really powerful meditation or if I just let go so well.
Mm,
Um, but I did it once, and then I
yeah.
went into my self-love and concentrated on self-love.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like it was, and
Mm,
it came so fast. Like I wasn't waiting 6 months or a year, or it just
yeah.
happened. I think once you let go, it just
Yeah. And
happens.
once you're really comfortable being alone and okay, and you no longer are chasing the need for a relationship and you're free to, I've got something to give to it rather than get from it. Once you get to that point, the relationships are at another level. They really are at another level.
Yeah.
And I know I talk a lot about self love to the point where people kind of roll their eyes, but it's like if you get that foundation right, you will have relationships that will blow your socks off how good they can be. If they're not hard, they're fun, they flow, they're easy, they're a pleasure to be around. They get better and better. It's really, I mean, you're living it now, so I'm not, I'm talking to the converted, but it's really,
Mhm.
really, it is, the key is you. It's not, and in a way, Vanessa, I know you
Mm.
said that meditation was good, and yet, but it's not the meditation. You went into the meditation to do it with a soft, open hand. So,
Yeah.
I think certain things speak to us at different times, definitely, but it was
Mm.
you that made the meditation work. It wasn't the meditation that made you work.
Mm.
You know what
And
I mean?
I think you have to love yourself enough that you're willing to let go as well.
Yeah,
I That was one of my biggest struggles, like
yeah,
biggest
yeah,
struggles over the years. But like
yeah,
I remembered after I had decided that he was going to manifest me cheekily, I had decided, oh, he doesn't. Like
yeah.
that's fine. Like, and I've noticed that if I'm always willing to let go, um, and just
Mhm.
accept what happens and just be very present,
Yep,
um, things work out for the better.
yeah.
But when
I
you've
think
been
letting
doing,
go is
yeah,
so underutilized. I think, especially in law of attraction world, it's so technique driven. And I think the techniques are
mm,
good, but it's half of the nut. I think the other half of the nut is letting go, surrender, allowing, trust, faith, all of those inactive types of things.
mm,
That brings the two halves of the nut together. And that's how things slide in and fall at your feet. So,
yeah.
this is so okay. Let me ask you before we go on, because I think this is important. A lot of people have trouble letting go. So, tell me, so that the viewers hear you say, how you actually do that for yourself. How do you let go?
Um, I think that if I start feeling scared, when if I need to let go and I start feeling a little bit anxious,
Mm.
that's when I need self-love the most, and that's when I rampage. So
Yes.
I always rampage that I matter. So
Yes.
if I let go, I know that some people are going to come back to me, or a situation, people are going to uh, work to benefit me because I matter. So that's my new
Yeah.
favorite affirmation,
Mm.
is I matter. So
Yeah.
I'll rampage I matter for like as long as I need until it feels
Yep.
good. I'm addicted to feeling good.
Yes.
And everyone's always like, you're always smiling. And Keegan says to me, you smile when you talk. And he's like, that's my
Yeah.
favorite thing about you.
That's
But,
beautiful. Yeah.
but as you know, years ago, I was depressed. Like I did not
Yep.
smile. It was too much effort to lift my cheeks. But
Yeah.
I'm addicted to feeling good. And when you always feel good, you're happy to let go. And I think it also comes with
Mm.
self-esteem. Like when
Yes.
you have really good self-esteem, you know what you're worth and you
Yeah.
know what you deserve. And so you're willing to let go of anything and know that
Yes.
if it's good for me, it'll come to me. If it's not good for me,
Yeah.
that's fine because I'm the best. I'm awesome. And I love me and I look after me. And when I
Yeah.
love myself, like I imagine saying to myself, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm always gonna
Yeah.
take care. That sounds so
Yeah.
cheesy.
Yeah,
But
no, it's that's what it is. That's the reparenting of the inner child, isn't it? That's what
and
how
I
they talk
do that.
about it. That's it. Yeah.
I do that. I remembered my first disagreement with Keegan. Yeah. So my first disagreement with Keegan, I remembered you had taught me in the past about setting boundaries, and you'll like set boundaries and go into your self-love, and then you can change it and fix it, but you don't
Mm,
need to like, try to control the world, but keep boundaries. And I used to, through my years of learning and with exes, I would have weak boundaries because I had weak self love. And then I thought that I would just accept bad behavior while trying to change it through manifestation. And like, I was
mm,
just chaotic. Like, I hadn't clued in yet. And
yeah.
so I realized that I had really figured it out when me and Keegan had our first disagreement, because he had lied to me about something. And I had set my boundaries. And I had decided that I matter and I love me. And in the past, I would cry and beg and please don't leave me. I'll take the blame. This is my fault. But I was like,
Yeah.
no, like you're going to come back to me doing better.
Mm.
And I was
Yeah.
so certain because that I matter.
Yeah.
and and if he didn't see that I mattered, that was okay. Like because I'm
Yeah.
happy and I have a good life and everybody loves me. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm supported and like and he felt that and he was as you say like the rest will happen, like the rest will come. Just do you and the rest will
Mm.
come. So I just did me and he's like, you know, amazing. Like just imagine like the most amazing things a guy could say to make it all better. And he had a plan in place, a relationship goals, how we're going to sort out our problems in the future. Like he
Lovely.
he treats me like I matter. And so when I
Yeah.
set boundaries or something happens, it's always a nice experience
Yeah.
um because I worry about doing me rather than going for him
Yep.
and
Yeah.
trying to control him. You
Yeah.
can't control them. You have to control you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And that, I mean, I'm a big believer in free will. I'm a big believer. I don't like the
Mm,
idea of people being potentially controlled by me. I don't like that. I'd rather know that someone's
yeah.
totally free, and that the better I feel, the better my experience is with them, and that I'm
Mm,
influencing through how good I feel in myself, with peace, with love, with calm, with feeling that I matter. I'm really glad you brought up that affirmation, because it's not one people use as much as, say, I'm wanted or I'm loved or I'm good enough. I think it's one of the quiet affirmations that aren't used as much. And I agree with you. I think it's massively important, because if you feel like you matter, there is a power in that. I do
mm.
matter on the planet,
Mm,
irregardless of everybody else. I do matter. It's important that I'm here, not for
yeah.
anybody, but just for me.
Yep.
And yeah, I love that you picked that one, because it's a bit of the quiet, one of the quiet ones.
Well, it was trial and error because
Yeah.
I remembered I was dating a guy a couple of years ago, and he was very selfish, and like we had a disagreement because he had nude photos of his ex-girlfriend, and I said delete them, and
Yes.
because we'd been together for 8 months already, and we were FaceTiming his mom, and I was going to go over to Malaysia to meet his family.
Mm,
And he's like, no, they're my memories. You're controlling, you're this, you're that. How and he was all about him. And
yeah.
I thought, oh, I'm not first best, she's first best. So I'm affirming first, I'm first best, but
Mm,
nothing was changing. And then a similar thing happens, like we separated because of things like that. And the next relationship, it was very similar. And I was like, I'm first best, I'm first best, I'm loved. And he was choosing me, and
mm,
I was loved, but I didn't matter. Like he mattered more.
mm,
And
mm.
so I realized, and then there were people like treating me like I didn't matter, and they were very dismissive of me. But they were respectful to me
Yeah.
when they needed, like in like other senses. But I figured out along the way through trial and error that I was very much in a state of I don't matter because I've always
Mm,
been a selfless person. I've always been like, no,
mm.
you take it. No, you have it. Or don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Don't you,
Yes.
don't you worry about me.
Yeah.
And after years and years of doing that, people are like, oh, don't worry about her. She'll be all right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't,
Don't worry about me. Well, now they're not worrying about me. That's brilliant.
yeah. So now,
Oh,
now I feel so good and I almost feel cheeky because I'm not used to mattering so much.
yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and so when someone puts me first, I'm like, oh, me?
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's a
Um,
case of learning how to receive, isn't it? To go thank you and not go all weird.
yeah,
Thank,
yeah,
thank you. Thank you. And be gracious and say thank you. But yeah, it's weird at first, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's good. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, so this is the best relationship I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's
And that's a good
I'm
affirmation too. That was one of mine. This is the best relationship I've ever had. That was an affirmation. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
good one. Lovely.
Um yeah, and so like I don't stop meditating. Like I still, and I never
Mm.
did, like before I'd met him, during the year that
Yeah.
I took to myself without dating. Um
Yeah.
I I've never stopped meditating because it feels good. So it's just a lifestyle now. Like I eat every day and I shower every day
Yep.
and I meditate every day and I
Yeah.
rampage my affirmations every day. And
Lovely.
that's
Do you
just
do it
that's
on a do you do it on a walk, Vanessa, or do you do it silently when you wake up, or when do you actually do your affirmations?
okay, this is a little different. I
Yeah.
figured out, like I used to when I first started doing affirmations, I figured out, like, because I was studying at the time, and when I write down notes, I remember things better or it secures in
Yep.
my brain. And so I started writing them down in notepads, and I was going through
Yep.
so many notepads because I will write the same affirmation until there's a feeling in my stomach. I can't explain it. It's almost
Yep.
like a resistance. I'm not
Mm.
sure. I don't know if you understand it, but
Yeah.
um, there's a feeling, and I feel like it's like a little mountain that I just need to get over. And then
Yep.
once it's there, I go into the next meditation or the next
Yeah.
affirmation, not meditation.
Yeah.
So I'll say,
Yeah.
I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved. And then once I feel like I've broken through that little something, I don't know what it is, this energetic thing, then I will go into I'm respected and I matter. And
Mm.
I'll do that for hours just because I enjoy it. Like I don't do it
Yeah.
to get my SP. I don't do it
Yeah.
to get the thing that I want. I actually
Mm.
don't want anything anymore. I do it
Yes.
because it's a pleasure. Like it's a
Yeah.
hobby. Like
Yeah. It is. It's
um
true. It becomes the drug of choice.
it is. I am a junkie for
Yeah.
affirmations. Like
Mm.
I'm pretty bad for it. Like I enjoy it, but I figured out now that the last maybe year or two that I could type it on my laptop. And so I open a
Yeah.
word pad and I'm like a little crazy lady, like in a
Yeah.
rampage.
Nice.
Just me when I'm upset and crying, I'm like, I am loved, I am loved. And I'm like
I
typing really
matter.
hard.
I matter. I matter. I
I
matter.
matter.
Yeah. It's good.
And I just type in my word pad like over and over and over. And that's how I do my little rampages. Um,
Lovely.
I've gotten real fast at typing.
Mm.
um, but yeah, so
That's
I
lovely.
that's how I do my affirmations now. Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, that's how I do my affirmations on the
That's
laptop.
great. Yeah.
And um I have found though that I think is really important. I've been teaching my nephew law of attraction, and I've
Yeah.
told him there's something powerful about speaking them.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
figured that out. I did some coaching with Marvin, and he
Yes.
told me to read Florence Scovel Shinn. And you talk
Yes.
about her all the time, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Agnes has told me everything. I don't need to read it. But he's like,
Yeah.
you need to read this, this, and that. And so I went in and I read her book front to back. And she talks
Yeah.
about like when you make jokes about things,
Yeah.
they how they manifest. And I
Mm.
used to always I'm a goofball. So, and I like to laugh at myself, and I would make negative jokes about myself. And I found that when I joked about things, they happened. And I used to think it was
Yeah.
hilarious before I knew about law of attraction. And then I thought, when I speak about things, like I remember going into college once and I had this awful tutor. She hated me. And I was joking in the car and I'm like, she's my best friend. She loves me so much. Blah blah blah. And I was joking and I went in there and I had the best day and she was obsessed with me. Like she just loved me. She was like talking about trading numbers. And I'm like, there's something to that. So now I
Yeah.
find that if there's no one around me to think I'm a crazy lady, I'll say things out loud. I'll be
Yeah.
like, gosh, I'm so loved. I'll be doing my dishes and I'll look around
Yes.
and like the house is empty. I'm like, gosh, I'm so loved. Like so in my
Yeah.
dishes.
Nice. That's
And
lovely.
if something's going wrong, I'll say to my friends, "Oh, it doesn't matter. My bank account's always full of money." Like,
Yeah.
and so yeah, joking a lot and speaking out loud is really good too.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers the story we were talking about before we started recording, about when I had suggested to you about the 500 affirmations a day, and what happened when I said that, what your response was when you listened to what I think it was a record. Was it a recording, an
Yeah,
audio or
it was a
something? Yeah.
recording. So actually I think there's a whole topic there that I could talk about. I was saying to you, I I want to coin this term, please. I want this on
Yes.
recording. I coined this term. I am a law of attraction brat. And I think
Yes.
there is a lot of us out of there. If there is ever a law of attraction brat, you can look straight at me. So we've been coaching for years, and I've had lots of little success stories, heap
Yeah.
amazing ones. Maybe we'll talk about it another time. But
Yeah.
but I had so much resistance like the whole way, because I went into law of attraction thinking I'm a sorcerer, and
Yeah.
thinking I just like I thought, oh, I'm magical. I'm I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm going to make my own rules. And I thought I could break all the rules. And I
Yeah.
didn't like hearing things I didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do the work either. I kept looking for cheats.
Yeah.
And I remembered you when you first told me, when I first reached out to you, you said to me, oh, you need to do affirmations daily. And you said something about like 500 affirmations. And I was pissed. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do that. I remembered around the
Oh,
same time, someone else uploaded a video, a law of attraction coach saying, oh, you don't have to do affirmations. Nobody's got time for that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to like that video. I agree.
yeah.
Like, I
Yes.
was so disgruntled. I couldn't imagine doing that and like putting in,
Mm.
it felt like so much work that now I can't imagine anyone living any other way. Like I just,
Mm.
but yeah, like now I'm just a junkie for affirmations. But like 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it was, when you first told me
Yeah.
you need to affirm and stuff, I was like, is she for real? Like, am I gonna do this? Like,
Yeah, and you weren't in a good state then. Like, you were not
I
where
was
you are today.
I was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed to clean my house, like to
Yeah.
shower every second day. I was on
Mm.
antidepressants. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was so resistant. Like I was so resistant to doing the work and hearing things I didn't want to hear. Like
Yeah.
it's so funny. I was like, Agnes is always right, because every time I heard something I didn't want to hear, I would get disgruntled for a day
Yeah.
or so, and I'd be like, oh, she doesn't even know, because I was so self-pityful, and you wouldn't
That's
pity
good.
me, like you wouldn't coddle me.
Oh,
I thought
you
I was gonna
wouldn't
get a
pity
hug.
me.
I would reach out thinking I was gonna get a hug or some sort of relief, or there, child. And
No.
you'd be like, yeah, you got to go do some more work. And I'm
Yeah.
like, she doesn't even care about me.
No. I
But
don't remember
you
telling
were
you. I don't
loving.
remember telling you to clean your house though. I don't remember that one.
Yeah. So I said to you, I said, I get so upset because I can't get out of bed to clean my house. And I said something about like I had a crush on a boy, and I was a single mom, and I thought, oh, single moms, their houses aren't as clean as other women, are as insecure. And you said to me, Vanessa, if your house is a mess, clean your house. Like,
Yeah.
you'll feel
I
better.
don't remember that.
And it always stuck with me, and I always giggle when I think about it, because someone needed to say that to me. Someone needed to be like, cut your shit out, Vanessa. Like, because I was so
Oh,
pitiful, and I was so used to people telling me like, it's okay, you're depressed, people don't understand depression,
yeah.
take it. And there's all these mums groups sharing memes saying, leave dishes on the sink and go to bed and take care of you.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
people encourage people with depression and anxiety to um, feel like no one understands them and no one's ever going to understand them, and
Yeah.
that they're okay to be how they are. And
Yeah.
yeah, they are okay. They are loved and they are lovable, but you need to save yourself because no
Yeah.
one's going to save you. You
Yeah.
need to save yourself. And I needed to save myself because medications were making me a zombie. And
Yeah.
they, I can't, it hurts my heart to imagine anyone on medication now.
Yeah.
And once I changed my thoughts,
Mm.
those, because I was depressed because I thought I'm not good enough, I'm worthless,
Yeah.
nobody loves me, I'm ugly, everyone's looking
Mm.
at how ugly I am, nobody wants to be my friend. That's
Yeah.
why I was depressed. I want to die
Mm.
because I don't deserve, like, it's just,
Mm.
it's all thinking, and
Yeah.
it is controllable, and medication is not going to change your thoughts.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in a really bad place, and when I reached out to you, so thank you, Agnes. Thank you for helping me save me.
Well, thank you for hearing it, because some people don't and they run away.
Yeah,
So well done.
there was so many times. The other thing is I think you saved me from narcissism as well. And I'll always thank
Mm.
you and love you for that, because I think
Oh,
there's a lot of information out there that encourages narcissism, and it
yeah.
takes a lot for someone to admit that they had narcissistic qualities, because I think a lot
Yeah.
of us have them but we don't realize that we have them.
Yeah.
I remembered a couple of times I wanted like a boy to come to my doorstep begging and crying and that's cruel. Like
Yeah.
that is not okay. And I
No.
wanted meditations to get, and I wanted, like, I think I've tried to order a meditation from you once, and I wanted this guy to come to my house with gifts, and I wanted to visualize it, and he wanted to say this and say that, and you were like, you created him, like, just
Mm.
work on you and the rest will come. Like, work on you. And I was like really disgruntled, but over the years I have become a better person in so many ways,
Mm.
and people love me for it. Like, so many people in my life love me
Mm.
because I'm a good person, because
Yeah.
and now I see those narcissistic traits in other people and I
Yeah.
pull away from
Yeah.
them.
I
I don't want to be
know.
around them. Like,
But I
it's
do think, Vanessa, there's some stuff in law of attraction circles, because there's a difference between self-love and self-indulgence. And
mm,
sometimes some of this law of attraction gets taken to the extreme of you know, you can have anything you want at all costs. And well,
mm,
I think you can manifest a huge amount of your stuff, but you have to, I think, somewhere along the line, remember humility. This isn't about
mm,
arrogance. And when I
yeah.
see it tipping into arrogance, I just, ooh, that's not, there's no beauty in arrogance and pushing and trying to force, using the law of attraction as the vehicle. You've missed the whole point about attraction. If that's how you're using it, or whether it's Neville, or whether it's Florence, or whether it's Wayne Dyer or Jack Canfield, whoever you love,
Mm.
if you really hear the message, it's not about pushing with arrogance. There is a humility about attracting a person to you. There's another human being involved.
I'm just
So,
grabbing my phone charger. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just gonna plug this in as we go, so I'm gonna be all over the place for a second.
No, that's fine. I can still hear you. All good.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what I found with you. Like, I found that I'm so glad that I chose you to be my coach, and that I stuck with it, and really, even though I heard things I didn't want to hear, I'm a better person, and I have become a woman that I'm proud of and that I love.
Mm,
Because I was, like I said, I was the law of attraction brat, and I don't know how you put up with me. And I tipped over into arrogance so many times. I would be so
yeah.
angry. I wanted revenge, and I thought revenge was making people grovel at my feet. And
Yeah.
I thought I was a good person still. Like,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that good people deserve to have other people grovel and beg and
Yeah.
cry and this and that. And
Yeah.
it's not like, you can be a really good good person and have great problem solving skills,
Yeah.
and you can be like, you can have everything you want, and you can hold people accountable, and you can set boundaries, and you can have people
Yeah.
apologize to you and expect an apology, but you can do it by just loving yourself. And there's just nicer ways of doing it. There's just better
There's
ways.
nicer ways. Yeah.
It's yeah, it's like making people beg and cry and crawl and everything. It's cruel,
Yeah.
it's arrogant. It might make you feel loved. It would be nice when people say sorry. You can set a boundary and say,
Mm,
until you say sorry, I don't want to speak
mm.
to you right now.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. And
And
then
then you
it's
let it
done.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you affirm that you matter, and then they'll say sorry. Like,
Yeah.
um, and you can
Yeah.
sort through it. But at the end of the day, I had to learn, they did everyone that hurt me, they hurt me because of me. Like, because of the vibration that I was in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely not about like the arrogance. Like, you can be someone that's on a pedestal just by affirming that you matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
if you matter
Exactly.
to someone, then you're on a pedestal, or I'm cherished. There you go. Like,
Exactly.
you have it. Um,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a different, it's, yeah, it's a fine line having that self love and confidence and having outright arrogance and better than, and I'm just going to plow through and get what I want. And I find it's like you do have to watch that, because there is a lot of
Mm,
stuff that promotes that stuff, as you said, and that's not, it's like you've gone from totally feeling not good enough to totally feeling overinflated, and
I,
that is
yeah.
ugly in a relationship too. That's just as ugly as I'm not good enough, and you attract from that place.
Mm,
You know, I, yeah, I do think that you have to observe yourself like you have and say, okay, hang on, whew, that wasn't cool to want people to beg and, you know, be, you know, doing this over stuff. I mean, if I think if someone came
oh,
begging to me, I'd be like, get up and get away and get your act together and come back when you're kind of back into normal zone. Do not
that
beg
shouldn't
me
make
for
you feel
anything.
good.
Ugh, don't,
Mm.
I wouldn't want someone begging me for anything. That's
That
really unattractive to me.
that shouldn't make you feel good as well. Is
No,
That's
because
the
they're
other thing that,
degrading themselves. They're degrading themselves. That is
yeah.
nothing good about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I just find that, like, one thing I learned is, if I feel good about someone else suffering, what does that say about
Mm,
me? Like, I
exactly.
you and Marvin pointed out to me, um, he said to me, I need to forgive everyone. And I'd already spoken to you, but I told you I was being like a brat. I was being disgruntled several times. And I went to Marvin. I
Yeah.
said, Marvin will help me.
Yeah.
And Marvin told me the exact same bloody thing. And
Yeah, Marvin and I are pretty in tune with what we kind of, you know, say to people. We've come across over the years that we're very similar in our approach. So yeah, you didn't get the hug from him either.
no, he didn't cuddle me to make it all better.
He's gonna laugh when he sees this. He's gonna laugh. That's brilliant. I love it.
He said to me that he told me to go back to Florence's book, and he said that when you
Mm.
wish bad on others, it'll come back to you.
Yeah,
And so, and everyone is our mirror. So if I'm
yeah,
being arrogant to others, I'm going to be surrounded by a world of arrogant people. And if
yes.
I have narcissism in me, then I am
Mm.
going to be messaging you every month saying, why do I have so many narcissists in my life?
Yeah,
Because they are me. And since I've healed all of that in me and become a better human,
yeah,
I'm now surrounded by the best people. And
yeah,
I see like toxic traits in other people, and I don't let them in my circle.
yeah,
Like, but if I could relate to them, they'd probably be in my circle, and I'd be surrounded by them. My life
yeah,
would be icky.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
That is,
so
that's
yeah,
so lovely. And there's so
don't
many
be a
good.
law of attraction brat. You're not, we are not sorcerers. We're not genies.
Mm,
There
that
is
is, I
magic.
think Vanessa, I think that's going to be the title of this YouTube. Don't be a law of attraction brat. I'd never actually heard it worded like that. And that's really funny, but it is something that does happen. I mean, I relate to it. I did the same. I got in that state too in the beginning. When you start realizing you got a little bit of power and you've been totally disempowered, you kind of grab onto it and it gives you a little bit of a leg up the ladder and you feel a little bit, okay from a depression.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you start climbing, you start there, you'll have some humbling moments around that where you get pulled down back to size.
When you realize that you are magical, and that's what
Yeah.
it is, it's magic. Like,
Mm,
if I want something, like, oh, all the stories from over the years, like the things that have
mm,
manifested and changed and altered, and the growth that I've had, it
yeah.
is magic.
Yeah.
Like, I manifested so many physical things, um,
Yeah.
just so magically.
Yeah.
You, when you have that power, it's hard not to abuse it. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard not to be like, especially when you're mad or when you're
Yeah,
wounded.
especially or when you're wounded. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's stop because the interview's already an hour long.
Yeah.
Do you want to come and do a part 2 with me next week? And we will talk about all the other stuff that we haven't had a chance to share today, because I know
Yeah.
there's lots of other good manifestations that we, touched
Did
on
over the
before we
years.
started recording.
Yeah.
How about we do a part 2 if you have time?
Yep. Sounds good.
And also I'll put down below the meditation that you talked about, because I know people will ask about it. And also you have a fabulous business that people can find you about. We'll put the link to that down below, and we will talk
Yeah.
more about the meaningful work part in the second interview next week if you have time.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay,
Awesome.
beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, how exciting. Look, honestly, it's I get so thrilled when people can hear, because it is a bit of a slap wake up call when you're going for coaching and people tell you things you don't want to hear,
Oh,
or
yeah.
your family or your good friend, whoever it is. It doesn't have to be a coach, but when you get that slap, but then you go, you know what, ouch, that stings, because there's some truth in that, and I'm gonna pull my head in a bit and take that on board, and let me see if I can turn that around, rather than going on the defense attack, which people do. Let
Yeah.
me see if I can take that on board, and you know what, I do that, I don't like that, I don't want to be that. Let me see if I can improve myself and have some humility to work on what's been said. And well done to you, because it is hard to hear, and it's hard
Yeah.
to take that in, especially when you're depressed, especially when you're trying to get a little bit of self-love on board. It's hard to
Yeah.
hear sometimes, it is. But if your coach is good, they're not going to tell you just what you want to hear. If your friend's a good friend, they won't just tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you what they see, and what they see, if they can do it from a place of love, and then you can learn from that. What a powerful thing to then go forward and then you create an amazing relationship or an amazing business or whatever. And
Yeah.
wow, transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank
beautiful.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Like, I was so excited because I just knew where you were when you started and where you are today. And it's
Yeah.
just, I get, nothing thrills me more when someone rises up, like the phoenix, and they've come out of a whole big pile of crap, and
Yeah.
they've risen out and they've learned so much. And this stuff, no one can take it away from you now. It's yours. You know how the mechanics of it works. And you can apply it to money, to jobs, to relationships, to your body, to healing something, to helping other people, visualizing for them. It's
Yeah.
endless. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
to be continued, Vanessa, you and I
Yeah.
will, I'm going to, do you want to say bye to people, and then we'll say bye in private and organize the next thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, bye.
Short and sweet. Bye. Bye,
See ya.
everyone. I hope you
Yeah.
learned some good stuff today. Vanessa has a very clear message, so I hope you learned stuff. And I'll see you, as always, in the next YouTube.